Hey everyone, tonight I'm going to do this Shining tutorial. I don't really know much about the show, movie, book, but I saw this image and thought I would try and recreate it. So I'm going to give it my best shot. I'm using a Santorini from Shelley, and I always like to go in with pencil first and kind of sketch out my design, especially with this design. I'm going to do the background first, and it is, I don't know what shape, pentagon, hexagon, a hexagon, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I think that's right, a hexagon. Well, anyhow, I'm doing that shape, and I didn't want to be so time consumed by using a ruler for each design, so they're a little off, but you guys get the general idea. If you want to use a ruler, you can. So we're making this honeycomb design, and I'm pretty much doing like 3/4 of the stone because the top is going to look like blood later on. So as you can see, I'm making the design in pencil, and it's one shape, and then I outline that shape again and then started on the shape next to it. Once I'm finished with that, I'm going to use my kneading eraser and just get some of the design pencil marks off so that it won't show up through my Posca pens. So you guys can take your time, do that design, and then erase. So for the next step, I'm going to use a red Posca, an orange Posca, and a brown Posca. And I'm going to do all the inner circles red, the outer circle orange, and then I'm going to use the brown and do the trim around the red and then the trim around the orange for the entire rock. You guys can use acrylic if you want. I just wanted to keep it pretty simple for this tutorial, so I used that. So before I do my paint, I'm going to go ahead and pencil in the doors. There was 4 doors on there. One was large, the second one looked like the door was open, and then the third and the fourth door were a little bit smaller as it was angled out. So I'm drawing those in. I shaded the one section to look like the door. The white part will be a red background. So I'm gonna finish sketching the other doors, getting them proportionate. Thank goodness for the eraser because I'm very good at using that. Now I'm going to kind of start coloring in the red of the designs like I had mentioned before. Inner part red, outer part orange, and then tracing both in the brown. So I'm going to take a break from talking and I will start back up in a minute. You guys get the general idea. So as you can see, I did all of the red and most of the orange. I'm gonna let that dry a little bit, and I'm using my black posca to go in and shade the doors. Once I'm done with the doors, I'll go back in and finish with the orange outline on the shapes, and then again with my brown. I didn't show in this video, but after I did all of it once, I did go back and do it again as well to give it a second coat. So there was no white showing from the Santorini and the color really popped. But I didn't want to make the video too long for you guys. So here I am using my Posca, finishing the doors. And I will let you guys know the next step as we get started on it. Okay, so now you guys can see I've done the background, red, orange, and brown, and the black doors. Now I'm using red acrylic paint that's brighter, and I'm painting the top portion where it's white to look like blood, and then I'm going to go down and overlap over top of the design to make it look like the blood is dripping down. I used more of a dry brush and just put a little bit of paint on the edges so that it looked like it was fading out and it wasn't gobs and gobs of paint. So I did this and then I let it dry, and then I'm going to go back in and give it a second coat as well. I also used that same bright red acrylic paint for the inner portion of the open door. After I finish with the red paint, we want it to look like the light is shining out onto the floor. So I used white acrylic paint, watered down. It's kind of hard to tell in the picture, but as the white paint dries, it looks a little more see-through. So you get that shine vibe instead of just a white triangle. So you want to do the portion of the door, and then as you get to the bottom of the rock, you want to make it go wider out. While that's drying, before I do a second coat, I'm going to use my uniball signo pen and write The Shining. The pen, if I kept going over the wording, would have been solid white, but I liked the rough and scruffy look to the lettering. It just gave it more of that creepy vibe. So my letters aren't perfect. You'll see that there's space in between the letters, that it's not exactly white solid. So once I'm done with the letters, I'm going to go back and do the triangle part again with white watered down paint. And that will be it. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you give it a try. So the last part of the video will just be adding the boy on his bicycle. I'm gonna do a black silhouette, and I really can't give you guys much of a tip except to look for an image of the silhouette. I just looked at the picture and drew a similar shape like they did. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to use the gray Posca pen and go by the tire of his vehicle and his bicycle, and go to the end of the rock to make it look like a shadow. And his shadow's going to look larger than his bicycle. Not a great teacher, but I hope that helps you guys on the last little bit of the rock, and I can't wait to see them.